What up though, this your boy DOC, and before we jump into this video, after this video, make sure you check the description, check out all my merch. It's tons of new designs available and I upload different designs weekly. Peace. What up though, this your boy DOC, and I got a very special guest on the line. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and where you're from.
Man, I appreciate you having me, man. It's Lil Sicx. I'm from Sacramento, California. What's good?
What's good, man? Thanks for coming on, man. I greatly appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate you having me, man. I really appreciate the alley-oop and the platform to, speak my mind and get this interview done.
Word. Okay, now first off, it's Triple Six son. You currently rapping yourself, so I want to start kind of with the music. When did you start rapping, and how did you get into it? Was it directly, correlation with your pops, or did you start building like your own interests on your own?
You mean by start like seriously, or just from the beginning?
Well, it's from the beginning, yeah, even when you was playing around with it.
Man, I just grew up watching him rap. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with the Sick Made people. I grew up with, in the studio, so I was always around it. So to me, it was just, that was my dad's job. So yeah. Really, I learned how to rap just by being around it. Nobody really taught me, just being around it. But I didn't start rapping seriously yet. That was just the beginning and the influence. Yeah.
And when did you start taking it serious?
Well, shit, I was in a little group called the Stuntin' Boys when I was like 15, 16 in high school. So that was like my first project, I should say. You know what I'm saying? But even then, I was in high school, man. We were just having fun being kids. And I was doing like the hyphy movement and shit. You feel me? But the Stuntin' Boys mixtape, high school, about 15, 16 years old, and then I just stopped. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So right now is the first time I'm taking it seriously. Back then, I didn't consider myself a rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Right. What was like your pops or everybody else that was in Sick Made, how did they take it once they seen or start hearing that, okay, this is what you want to do, or during that time?
Man, they've been supportive. They've been supportive since I was a kid on the rap shit. Like, they used to tell me, growing up, man, come rap, man, you need to come rap. And I didn't want to rap. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to rap, and mainly it was because everybody was rapping, and then it's like, my dad was a rapper. I'm trying to be myself. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to. I wasn't in love with music like that. I was in love as a fan. You know what I'm saying? But not as an artist. I was still, just trying to find my way and do my thing. And somehow, some way, I done found my back to this music. So I guess I should have been rapping.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it was right.
And
I ain't gonna fight it no more.
And you say you was doing like the hyphy music and all that stuff, and then did you do any other type of styles, or you very versatile?
Yeah, I grew up listening to everything, man. So I'm very versatile. But at the time when I was rapping, the hyphy stuff was in style, and my brother and my cousin were in the group, so I couldn't direct the songs all towards dark stuff because. First, I was a kid. I wasn't really allowed to say what I wanted to say because my mom wouldn't allow it. But then second, my little brother is younger than me, and then my other cousin, we had to make something that worked for everybody. So, it was just the hyphy stuff at that time. But really, even back then on that mixtape, my bars, my lyrics were not, you know what I'm saying? Like, my delivery is not hyphy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It still had a Sick Made flow. It still had a old school sack flow.
Do you are you the type of rapper that like freestyles, or you sit down and pen your stuff? I'm a student of the game, man. I can do it all, but I just, when it comes to recording this album, when it comes to making the music, man, I have to write it down. I got OCD. I'm a student of the game, man. So I gotta have it exactly how I want it, say it how I want to say it, because I know I got big shoes to fill, and I know I got a lot of people watching now that's gonna criticize me. And the one thing I don't want them to be able to criticize is my work ethic and my motherfucking bars. So exactly. I make sure it's all the way 100 before I even, what I'm saying, do anything. Exactly.
But freestyling is fun too. I mean, I feel like that's a part of the craft. Niggas can't even freestyle no more. So it's like I can freestyle, man, but at the same time, that's probably gonna be a fun hypey freestyle. You see what I'm saying? Because it's easy to talk about. Right. But when it comes to really making it like a deep song or a song about my life, I like to write it down, go over it, rehearse it, do all that. And I don't really do that play shit no more. That's what I used to do.
Right. And the song, Living Dead Ever Since, like, what does that exact title mean to you?
I'm glad you asked me that, man. That's basically living dead ever since my pops left. When my pops went to, prison. That's what the title stands for. So I was 12 years old.
Oh, so you wrote that?
I wrote that song in my brain now as a 12-year-old, but it's just I'm rapping now. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
All my songs are going back to when I was a kid because I'm starting from the beginning. So I'm saying everything now, but like living dead ever since since I lost my father.
Right. And when you were saying like going from like hyphy, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, you said certain things that your parents didn't allow you to say as a child, and going kind of more dark with the music. As far as like as your career progressed, do you want to go down that same exact lane, like of content wise that that Sicx Made is known for, or?
Hell yeah, man! And I'm not even saying that, to be a follower or jump in on some shit. But when I started making this album, I didn't have a plan on how I wanted it to sound. It was literally me writing my raps down, finding beats, and then finding my sound. My sound it comes naturally. Like like the stuff I've been through, the stuff I talk about, I can't really say it in any other type of way. But I could talk about other shit, but I'm telling my story. My story is a dark one. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah, that's true.
So that's just the shit I like too. That's the shit I listen to. So I'm not trying to sound like nobody else. And if somebody says I sound like somebody else, I guarantee you that somebody else is my family member. So, man, you know what I'm saying?
Right. All right. So let's take it back. Okay. How was the experience of like just growing up in Sacramento as a whole? Because I pretty much know, like, out of majority of the places that's considered Northern California, like Sacramento adopted like the gang culture compared to like other places. How did that affect you, or how was it growing up in Sacramento for you? Did you get involved in that type of lifestyle?
Hell yeah, man. And it's not, how people say, even if you don't bang, if your city bang, you still from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was from somewhere. But at the same time, my pops was gone. I had my stepdad, Emo, and then my mother, Letitia. They didn't let me get in trouble. I wasn't one of those kids that got to do whatever they wanted. I had to get good grades. I played video games most of the time. But, I also had, my rebellious side. And growing up in Sac, man, bro, I don't know nothing else. I thought everybody gangbang in the world. You know what I'm saying? At that time. Yeah. I didn't know it was optional. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like this. Like everybody was, and that come with it with shit being watered down and everybody banging at the time and everybody just following the leader type shit. But for me, man, I just did my thing and I represent where I'm from. I'm from Sacramento, California. And then when you're in Sacramento, somebody asks you where you're from, they're gonna say where at in Sac. I'm from Elder Creek, Bellini Way. That's where I grew up. That's the street that my dad grew up on. That's the house everything happened in. Is on Bellini. So I'm from Elder Creek Mobs. Right. But once again, that was as a kid. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah.
But it's still in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't forget where I came from. Anybody ask me where I'm from Elder Creek, double E Mob.
So, okay. So, did you really embrace it, like, once you got into, like, high school years, or you kind of just knew from, as a child, once you knew where you was from?
Oh, no, really, I'm going to keep it 100, man. I didn't do shit until my pops was gone. So it's like I wasn't pretending to be a gangbanger or a gangster or anything like that. And me personally, I had a pretty decent childhood. I played video games and stayed out of trouble and chilled with my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, my family was enough fun. All the gang culture and shit, that was from going to high school and having to walk the same streets and having to survive in the same streets, and motherfuckers trying to pocket check you, and motherfuckers asking where you from, and motherfuckers asking what size shoe you wear. You came from protecting yourself, nigga, and not getting ate up outside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
I'm a product of my environment.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Like, did you ever have to experienced any of those type of situations, like with either rival cliques or rival, crews? Because I know sometimes it could be Crips on Crips getting into it, or whatever it is.
I'm glad you asked that too, man. Like I said, I'm from Elder Creek Mob. It ain't really, it's not a blood set or a Crip set. So my flag is black. So I ain't really have funk with a certain person. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anytime I had problems with somebody, it was because I had a problem with somebody. It wasn't really on no, let's go get those guys every single day. So really, man, Elder Creek Mob is money over broke bitches. It's about, you know what I'm saying? It's not even worried about another man, what he's doing, what he's wearing. It's just, when funk come.
Right. And when you say, you mainly probably like jumped out there after your father left away, was it more from a like kind of like anger inside of you taking it out in another type of way?
Shit, looking back, it wasn't really no anger, man. It was just, bro, I'm telling you, like, everybody was banging. So yes, I was influenced by other people gang banging, but it wasn't really. I didn't do it. I didn't do it out of anger. You know what I'm saying? That's just where I'm from. That's just the street I grew up on. If somebody asks you what street you grew up on, you're gonna tell them, okay, now in their brain, you're from that gang. That's just how it works, in fact.
Yeah.
So if somebody asks you where you're from, you tell them the street. All right, that's your stamp for life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, this is a question, because I think this may be one of the first times getting the opportunity to interview someone. I wasn't, not in any type of way, but someone, how you have your father generation, and now this generation growing up now. In this particular generation, in the music game, it's more glorifying of like drug usage compared to like back in the day. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, it's sad for the state of hip hop, for the state of rap, gangster rap, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, man, it's ain't nothing to. It's hard to answer that question, man, because like shit, that ain't got shit to do with me because it ain't my generation. but man, it's like, bro, people was on shit back then too. You know what I'm saying? They were just secretive about it. You know what I'm saying? People was on shit back then, drug use, cocaine, you know what I'm saying, ketamine, meth, all that shit. That shit ain't new. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it's just people are bragging about doing it in their songs versus selling it in their songs. And really, it's just, man, I don't want to fuck with none of that shit, really. Smoke some weed.
Right, and just
drink water, H2O, flowers.
Right.
So it's like, but as for kids though, it's bad because I was influenced. I got a piece of it with fucking the hyphy shit because everybody was taking E-pills, Fizz pills. So it's like I'm not gonna say I was immune to it. I definitely experimented with ecstasy in high school, shit. But drugs just never been my thing, mainly because the shit that my dad got into and the reasons he did what he did and the way he went out. I don't want no parts in nothing that's gonna make me even think that type of way. You feel me?
Right.
Like, I want to be in control of my brain at all times, so I ain't really fuck with all that shit.
And around what time did you graduate from high school?
2007.
Okay, 2007.
Flowing High, Panthers.
So, going back, like with some of the articles I was reading, in relation to your father, it was around the early 2000s, was it 2001 or 2002 when he initially, when the charges came up, or when he actually got, convicted?
No, it was pretty much, those were the years, 01, 02. Yeah, those are the years, but it wasn't no ongoing case. It was 1 minute he was outside, 1 minute he wasn't. So, but those are the years though, 2002.
So if you had to take yourself back, like, and put yourself in those shoes at that particular age, like, how did you see what was going on during that particular time? They said, I don't know, they just said some of the charges of quote unquote or allegedly like raping some kids and some things close to home or whatever the case may be. Did you, not necessarily yourself, but like experience that, see that, or anything like that, or like if you could paint a picture for the people that was listening, like how was that?
Yeah, for sure. I got you, man. This is where a lot of controversy comes in, and a lot of disrespect comes to me personally because of my name. Now I have the same government name as him, so it doesn't matter if I'm in school or I get pulled over by the police. They're still going to see me as him at first until they realize I'm a junior. But as a kid back then, man, like my pops never. I didn't have the same experience, man. My pops never did nothing to me. He was a regular person to me. We played video games. We went to the park. Taught me how to ride a bike. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that same experience. I wasn't all perfect and millions of dollars and nothing. There was still bullshit, that every nigga go through, every hood nigga go through. But at the same time, I was a male and I didn't get messed with like that. And so when everything did happen, I didn't know if it was true or not myself. You see what I'm saying? Because I didn't see nothing, I didn't hear nothing, I didn't feel nothing. And it was, you know what I'm saying? For me, it was just a loss. I was too young. You know what I'm saying? And they kept it away from me. And I think that had a lot to do with my mother, because my mother would have fucked them up type shit. So, but at the same time, man, like, I can't speak nothing negative on that shit because it never happened to me. I wasn't around it, man. Anybody ask me about my pops, I'm gonna tell you about my pops. We played PlayStation, we played Nintendo, we fucking played football in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Fucking walk to the liquor store. He might grab a 40. He gonna get me some juice. Like, I had a regular father-son relationship with him. So that's the bitter edge. I mean, that's the bittersweet part about the whole situation, man. Is because it's like everybody expects me to hate him. Everybody expects me to bash him. But it's like, bro, he didn't do shit to me. Now, of course, I don't approve of what he did, but it's like I didn't have that experience. And at that time, I was kept away from my sisters too. We didn't have the same mother. So it was like, man, he just disappeared, and I went on with my life to the best of my abilities. You know what I'm saying?
Were you like forced? Did you have to go to court